welcome one and all to a happy new year. It is the Crooke Candle Podcast with I, Ozzy Anteas, and
Trajan Anteas.
Yep, and we are back after 2 weeks. Hopefully your Christmas celebrations and your New Year celebrations went well. Hopefully you didn't catch a virus of unknown origin. Hopefully everyone is healthy and good, and hopefully you got some good New Year's resolutions, because we do as well. But before we start anything, I just want to do a quick little plug for our things. We are basically on everything as far as our podcast goes: Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that stuff, Apple Podcast, as well as we are on Twitter, Facebook, and pretty much anywhere else we can think of on social media that you can contact us, and all those links will be down below in the bio.link/Crooke Candle Podcast. Anyways, let's start the new year off right. How are you doing?
How am I doing? I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
It's the new year. Actually, I'm trying to maintain a positive mindset. Mm-hmm. We're all in this boat together. The last couple years have had its ups and downs, let's say.
I think that sums it up pretty best.
Or a dumpster fire. Do we got a dumpster
Disappointed!
But yeah, the last 2 years have been sucky, to say the least.
Yeah.
And at the end of this year, at the end of 2021, the last couple of months,
mm-hmm.
Christmas and New Year's, but going up towards that, I was in the dumps.
Yeah, same here. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but because for those who actually have paid attention to the chronology of the podcast, if you've been listening for that long, if you're a new listener, thank you. You may not be aware of some of the things that I've said during this year, or the last year rather, but
it's just family drama.
Yeah, family drama.
Which everyone knows that, especially around holidays, people that have kind of issues with family, or a lack of family, or are lonely, mm-hmm. get pretty depressed.
Yeah.
Because, you want to feel appreciated and loved and all these things. Mm-hmm. And when you don't get that, and everyone around you is kind of like, hey, Merry Christmas and all that, it's very depressing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, the thing that sucked about the year ending was the fact that two particular people in my life, I wanted things to be good. And it just didn't.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
Shit just didn't work out. And I don't, and sometimes, because that's the thing, growing up, I remember when things like that would happen, when I would just have some sort of family drama, it would always make me think, am I what did I do? Am I the problem? I have no idea. Because I'm a very introspective guy. I like to think about what I could have done wrong mm-hmm. in a situation. Because the fact of the matter is, I want to be cool with people. Mm-hmm. I do. Mm-hmm. Even the two particular people that won't be named, I want to be cool with them. I really do. But it just, I came to the conclusion, especially being around them for so long. In fact, I had a lot of... not revelations, but I've had a lot of what alcoholics call a moment of clarity, mm-hmm. Where I kind of had that moment where I kind of I looked at my relationships with them in retrospect and realized that they were fucking awful. They were pretty awful in a lot of cases. I've had good moments with them, of course. There's always going to be good with the bad, but when I look at it in retrospect and actually put the puzzle pieces in place and get the full picture, you kind of go, why the fuck was I trying to, why didn't I distance myself from them sooner?
Well, that's the hard thing with family, because,
yeah,
you can have a contentious relationship with someone in your family and you want to love them. You want to say, I love this person, I love that person.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you look back on how you're treated, a lot of times you don't see that love back. So,
mm-hmm.
And again, this podcast is about creatives and people that want to live a creative lifestyle. And we've talked about the fact of how, people that are close to you, when you decide that you want to go after your dream of being creative, will not back you up. They'll actually rail against you in a lot of instances. So there's probably a lot of you out there that have had a similar experience and went through kind of similar things during the Christmas, New Year's, all that. But, and we've talked about this, and I kind of disagreed a little bit, but I heard a quote about the writer Ernest Hemingway, and someone asked him, "How do you become a really good writer?" And he said, "Have a really screwed up childhood." So, you use the things that what you want to do is you want to try and turn the bad into something good.
Yeah.
You're using something, it's negative energy, but you use the energy to forward yourself. And as a matter of fact, that's why this podcast and this episode is really about new year, new you, and the things that you need to do to step up your game. Actually, we're going to talk about some of the things that we're doing to step up our game, because really when it comes down to it, it's not about the other people who are not on your side.
Right.
You try and build relationships and friendships and alliances with people that see your vision. And that's how you continue to grow as an artist. And the people that, are resistant to what you're trying to do with your life, not their life, your life,
right?
But they're resistant to that as much as it can hurt. And I actually said to you about this when we were talking about it. I said, it's, any relationship is like, it's the same as if you have a romantic relationship with someone. If time is going by and you're not being treated right, eventually you have to leave. You have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your life becomes about the drama that this person or people might bring to your life instead of being focused on what you want your life to become.
Exactly.
So it's best to just kind of cut ties as much as it can be a hard thing to do, but that'll help you focus on your dream.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Cutting ties with people can be very difficult, especially if you have a history with like in the case of one of the people I had. In fact, I just distanced myself completely from this person like a few days ago, because we were on the porch. Because this person, like, I don't know what the fuck is up with him, but like we had this spat that happened like almost a year ago, where he said a bunch of fucked up shit. It was very not even misguided, just very not of reality. Collie, sorry, that's the podcast dog, or one of them. She's in the hallway. She wants her ball really bad.
Too bad.
Too bad. Collie, you can't have your ball. Come here. You want to be in the shot? Come here. Come on. Okay. Well, anyways,
she's a diva.
Yeah, she is a diva. She'll keep whining until she gets what she wants. And so he said a lot of fucked up shit, but then he would do this thing where he would pop out of nowhere and be like, "Hey man, how you doing? Let's hang out." Like nothing happened. And it's like, hold up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Well, there's this saying, if things don't add up,
subtract.
Start subtracting.
Exactly.
And back to, that that's where you got to do it. Sometimes you got to just
move on,
let go of people and move on. They are not there to cooperate with you. They're there to drag you down.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it, as sad as it can be. But again, you can build up relationships with people that are down with your vision of what you want to
Right.
do, and they support you. You tell them, I want to be a painter, I want to be a writer, they're like, awesome, because most people like to see people trying.
Yeah, exactly. And,
know?
Yeah, and there's the thing too. It's like, I think you hit it on the nail on the head. It's like you cultivate relationships with people that want you to succeed. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want. I don't want to cultivate relationships with people that drag me down. In the case of those other people, like, I had to distance myself from. In fact, even like with my name change, like the reason I changed my name was because I think back on who I was when I was under my other name, Jordan Jennings, and I just think about a lot of depressing shit. So me changing my name to Ozzy, and then like even just going to my workplace, having everybody call me Ozzy, it's like it feels right. And then on top of that, it's just I'm trying to move on from the bullshit, and like I want to be known for something else, and I don't want to dwell on that shit. I don't want that to define me. In fact, one of the things I want to do this year is be sober, or be more sober, like because I'm not an alcoholic. But like I definitely this year had a huge issue where I would just buy a lot of drinks like during the weekends and like go broke because I'm just buying all these drinks to, just to be drunk for the sake of it. And it's like I had this like come to Jesus moment where I'm like, why am I doing this?
Well, I've talked to a lot of people, and it's almost a meme.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there were people that before the COVID, before that happened, they might not really drink, except it's like, oh, hey, we're going to go have some drinks over here. And okay, I'm going out tonight. But people found themselves just drinking a bottle of wine a night or, something, and just daily, just because it's been hard.
Yeah, it's been
hard.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, if you've listened to, because are we on number 8 or 9?
9.
9.
This is
okay.
episode 9.
So 1 through 8 happened at the tail end of 2021. And we covered, if you were a listener, we covered some kind of tough issues around being lonely and what, depression in artists and stuff like that. And I think it reflected kind of how we were processing
a lot of shit
that year.
Yeah.
And especially coming to the end of the year, we were processing this stuff. And, we actually, when we sat down and had a meeting about the direction we're going to be going in, I was like, okay, let's step away from kind of the negative. It's not negative. It's part,
Right.
It's part of the experience of being an artist.
Yeah.
But let's make it a positive thing. So some of the episodes we're going to be doing, has to do with mindset and, what it takes as far as having a positive outlook on things to keep you motivated and inspired. And, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Right now is again, it's the new year, and we've actually there's people out there right now that are going to get a chance to watch this episode on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we've been posting the podcast on YouTube. This is the first,
Video podcast.
yeah, the first. Well, actually, technically the second.
Second. Okay.
But yeah, technically this is the first time we're doing this on video properly.
And right now it's just the one camera that we're using, but next week we're gonna actually do 3 camera setup. So we took a look at what we'd done. We've took a look at other content creators and how they kind of do things, make things look a certain way. So we're going to be doing multiple cameras. Another thing we're going to be doing coming up, which I'm pretty excited about because we've talked about it. I was like, there are studios for rent by the hour for podcasting.
Right. Yeah.
And we're it's something we're actually going to, another podcast we're going to do is, when is it time? When space is necessary, what do you have to do to get it? When is it time?
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing this from our living room studio.
Yeah, our studio, quote unquote.
But, there's something important in leveling it when you level up your game. For example,
Stepping it up.
yeah, as a tattoo artist, or a filmmaker even. I was talking to someone because we have a new apprentice at the tattoo shop.
Oh, okay.
And I asked her, well, what kind of machine are you using? Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, this type of machine. And, it's kind of on the lower end. And I'm like, well, to be a good artist, you have to learn to use the tools at hand to produce the best work, no matter what. But, when you're first doing, say tattooing, you might end up with a $200 machine.
Yeah.
Or you might get at a camera that after you put all like the black magic that we're recording on, after you put all the bells and whistles on it, it's maybe like $7,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And it produces 85 to 90% of what a $50,000 camera will do.
Yeah.
But what happens is, as you're on your journey and you're making money, you're supporting yourself, and you're able to invest in yourself, do you need the $50,000 camera? Not really. But when you are in a position where you can purchase that, it does something to your psyche. Now, so there's people that, so for example, within the tattoo world, there's people that are getting into the business of it. And in their mind, they're like, if I could buy this $1,000 machine instead of my $200 machine, I would do better tattoos, which is false.
Yeah, it's not true.
That's not how it works.
No.
Okay. So people sometimes will spend the money, but they haven't worked on their talents.
Right.
Okay. So it's just a waste of their money, and it's not. But if you work on your talent, you put in your 10,000 hours, you're doing really good with what you have.
Right.
That's when you upgrade what you got. And with that upgrade, you feel even more professional.
Yeah.
It's like taking a director that uses, is a new director, and he's got a couple of short films that he's done. Okay. And he's got his camera, his whole camera set up and everything. Maybe he's got $100,000 in it.
Yeah.
Okay. And he walks into a room and there's Steven Spielberg. Who's going to have more presence? Who's going to be, when everyone looks at this director and then it's Steven Spielberg, who do they look at as the bigger, director? It's Steven. He's put in the time, he's put in the effort. He has, notches in his belt as far as movies that he's made. He sat behind the most expensive equipment. And so when he walks into the room, he carries all that with him.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the thing. Even Steven Spielberg had to start somewhere.
Yep, absolutely.
And he didn't start off with like millions of dollars worth of equipment. No way.
No.
In fact, while you were mentioning tattoo equipment and Steven Spielberg, like it made me think of the fact because we're doing a podcast, we're using these microphones, the Rode mics, the Rode Pod mics, really good microphones, but they're like really cheap. They're like $99 pop. Like, and they're really good. I think the audio for speaks for itself. It's plugged into the Zoom PodTrack P8. Sounds really good. But it's almost like a meme. Like one of the microphones you see a lot when you're watching professionals, quote unquote. You'll either see like the Electro Voice RD20 or whatever, or the Shure SM7B. I actually have one of those.
Yeah.
And they're expensive microphones. And the thing is, like, when I got my Shure, it's like, yeah, it's a good microphone. Really good. Has good clarity and presence. It's really good. But did I need it? No, not really. Because this does because honestly, if you were to compare my voice on this versus the Shure, you wouldn't hear much of a difference. Not really.
And a lot of times afterward, you do a little bit of processing to the sound.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. So it doesn't really matter that much. It really, the only reason people get stuff, no, don't get twisted. The Shure is a really good microphone. If you need a really good microphone that has a lot of headroom, the Shure will definitely do that for you. And then even like the Electro Voice RD20 or whatever the hell it's called. I might have to correct myself in the post.
R2D2,
whatever it's called. but yeah, radio people have used it. You know, so it's like they're really good microphones.
It's an iconic microphone.
They're iconic, and it really, if anything, like when you get the fact of the matter is, the higher the amount of money you spend does not make for a better product. At the end of the day, I think that's the big misconception. It's even like with the drawing tablets. Like you got the I'm using the Hoyon, whatever the hell it is called, the Canvas, the Canvas Pro or whatever. That was like $400, something like that. But if you were to get a Cintiq, it's like $1,000 or maybe even more. Like, something like that. Ones. And really, the only reason you would get a Cintiq over a Hoyon is status. It just shows you have done well enough that you can afford that thing.
Yeah.
It does really well, and it'll last you a long time, but do you need it? Not really.
Yeah. Well, and again, even that is like, if you're proficient at what you do on something that is cheaper. Now, and this isn't always fair, but it is how it is.
Sure.
Okay. So if I'm proficient using something that's cheaper and producing a high quality product, I might, go bid on a job for something or talk to someone, a prospective client or whatever, and I'm presenting myself as someone at this level. And if the client knows about what you're doing, if he was to come to your studio or something and see that you're not using the more expensive thing, they might wonder why.
Right. If anything, the reason you would use really expensive shit is because you want to impress somebody.
Yeah, and I mean that is kind of part of it. If I'm trying to get a job filming something for a big corporate client,
right,
but they know cameras and equipment, and I show up with a Canon, or and that's it or something, and they're like, what,
right.
But again, if you can show them that it doesn't matter based on what you've produced,
sure,
you should be able to overcome that.
Yeah, results should speak for itself.
But once you start growing in your field, whatever it is, you do tend to upgrade stuff because, again, you want to
step it up.
Well, yeah, and you want to project a certain thing. Yeah. If I'm a doctor, but you're going to see a doctor, and he's the guy is going to be your surgeon, right? And all of a sudden, before the surgery, in walks the doctor, and he's wearing like a black leather coat, and a bullet belt. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to totally take out your appendix and blah, blah, blah. You would kind of freak out. He's got this ancient stethoscope in his pocket. You would kind of question what the heck's going on here. Because what you want to see is a guy in a perfectly white coat, hair combed, good demeanor, a brand new stethoscope, you want to, that's how doctors present themselves. It makes you feel comfortable. The doctor in the leather coat might be the best, like House from that show House. He might be the best doctor there is, but he's so freaking weird.
Yeah.
He freaks people out.
Yeah.
So, you want, like, for example, when I tattoo, perfect example. If I'm tattooing an arm, I'll have an armrest
set up. Yeah.
Okay. I'll spray it down, and then I'll put one or two pieces of saran wrap around it. Now, that's all I need. Okay. Same with the massage table I might lay them on. If they're getting their leg done, I'll spray down the bottom part of the massage table and cover it in saran wrap. That's really all you need.
Right.
But for both of these, I'll actually take Collie.
She's going off.
Be quiet. Going in the room. But let me just finish my thing. If when I do go to do the tattoo, I'll take the armrest and I'll actually cover it in white paper towels, and then I'll tape them with blue tape. Mm-hmm. Looks very medical.
Yeah.
The seat they're sitting on or the massage table, instead of just covering it with saran wrap, I actually have full size covers for the massage table.
Yeah.
And then I'll tape that to the table with blue tape. So when someone walks in, everything looks super professional. Mm-hmm. And it puts them at peace of mind.
Yeah, it makes them feel like
I know what I'm
they're
doing.
in good hands.
Yeah, they're in good hands. So, along with stepping up your game and upgrading things, you want to keep in mind that what you're really doing is you're trying to project confidence. It makes you, the artist, feel more confident. It makes the people that want to buy your product or interact with you in some way, they feel comfortable because they're like, I'm in the presence of someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. So, I mean, like, you guys out there, I'd love to hear what you do, or what you're dreaming of doing, and what are your plans for this year to level up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a new year.
Yeah, and again, if you want to reach out to us at any point, like we got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we got a Facebook page, all that's in the link down below. Hit us up, give us your feedback. We'd love to address some of your feedback on a future episode.
And that's actually one of the ways that Crooke Candle is stepping it up.
Yeah,
is we've had Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah, we haven't really,
but we didn't really engage with it that much, and so we did a couple things, which is important for I'd say creatives. Mm-hmm. Like we have the Trello app, which helps you kind of schedule things, but we actually upgraded to the professional version.
So now we got like a actual full calendar.
Yeah, we have a full calendar. We can. Yeah, and it's perfect. It's exactly what we need to keep us on schedule, so that on Wednesday there's posts going up to the social media things, and then we're going to interact if we get any comments back, blah blah blah. Right. So that's a huge step for us, because what we're doing is right now we're growing organically. We actually talked about doing ads. And it was funny. I was in the bathroom, looking at my phone, and I think I was on like Facebook, and I went to the news, and as I was scrolling, there was an ad for a podcast.
Oh, really?
And I was like, okay, mental note.
Well, that's why I said during our meeting, at the beginning of the year, I was like, we need to invest in ad space.
Yeah. Because that's the thing too, though, is an upcoming episode is going to be, when is it a good time to invest in yourself, even if it's not immediately going to pay dividends. These are a lot of the questions that we're going to be bringing up, because
she's Collie's just in the bathroom doorway, just whining.
Yeah.
Collie, can you knock it off?
And promotions and advertising, that's something we're going to be doing.
Yeah, we need to.
I'm really looking forward to the renting a space to do a couple of these. Maybe we'll do that once a month or something like that. But we're going to start, not every episode is going to be like this, but we're going to find some guests.
Yeah, we've been talking about that
and
on the off the podcast.
Yeah, we want to hear other people's stories, because in my experience as an artist, whenever I've met artists or creative people, people that are doing things outside of the box that the world and society wants to put you in,
Yeah.
they always have an interesting story.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of the upside of the difficulty of living as a creative person. It's not easy, and because it's not easy and because you're dedicated to doing something that most people don't do, you're going to have the most interesting experiences. Some of them are going to be hard.
Oh, sure.
And I'm here to tell you, there's been times as a creative where I just, I was ready to quit. I was so depressed and just things weren't working out.
Yeah.
Hindsight being 2020, those kind of experiences never stopped me from my dream of living as an artist. And, you end up looking back with this great sense of appreciation of yourself in many cases, because you're like, I made it through that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like literally, and I wouldn't want to do it, but if you took everything away from me, and actually I had a friend, Mark Rich from San Jose, and great comic artist. And I was living in San Jose still. This is years ago.
Okay.
So I'm living in San Jose still. And I mean, I'd been up to his studio where he would sit and listen to music and do comic books. I think he's in Kentucky now, or Tennessee or something like that. But he ended up, and he was older at the time. I think he was like in his mid 30s. And, I was like 25, 26. And he ended up getting a scholarship to, I can't remember the Art Institute or some art school in San Francisco. So he moved, and I didn't see him for a long time. And then one day I was downtown, and there's Mark Rich. And hey, Mark, what's up, man? And I asked him how he's doing. He's like, not so good. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? And he goes, the house I was in burned down.
Oh.
Every piece of art I've ever created
My God.
is gone.
Oh my God.
And it was, I was just dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. I gave him a hug. And literally,
Keep going.
when I walked off, by myself, I actually I didn't quite cry, but I was like,
I have a question for God. Why?
Like that's
yeah,
one of those
I mean,
moments.
I had that. It was so, because I was like, as a creative, if everything that you had is gone,
Yeah.
who are you? Because so much of what you create is tied up into your identity.
Sure.
And so to take it all away, that would be a blow. But, and that's what I'm saying, if everything was taken from me, I could start over.
Yeah.
I am this person, I could start at zero again. I don't want to, and I wouldn't want to, but I could. And I
Right.
think anyone who's got a talent, and actually that's the thing, like tattooing, I think it's a beautiful thing just because literally you could, as long as I have my equipment and some clothes, you could take me and put me pretty much anywhere, and I'd be fine. I would go. I know exactly the things I would do to get clients, approaching shops to work in, et cetera, et cetera. As long as I had that stuff, I'm fine. And most creatives kind of can do that because to make it, you have to learn how to hustle. You have to learn how to sell yourself.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to show that you can provide value in some way, shape, or form, as opposed to someone who's like, I'm punctual, and I'm a nice guy, and I have a degree, and just as long as you cut me a check every 2 weeks, I'm good. No, to be a creative, you have to take a lot of your life into your own hands, and that's why, as you're going along and you're upgrading and stepping up your game and investing in yourself, those are things that are incredibly important to any creative, just because they're things that you have to do if you want to live like this, and so again, we've talked about the starving artist.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you are putting in the time to do your art, but you're not doing anything else,
Right.
you can cry about how you're not making it, but there are options for you and steps to take. And if you're not taking them, you're not really going to go anywhere, you know? And again, and it might even be hard because most people don't go from, being a kid, growing up, going to school, and then boom, creative person. More often than not, they've had regular jobs, and so you go from a mindset of you just show up at work and do your work and everything else is taken care of for you. Insurance, you get that paycheck every couple weeks or once a week, whatever, and everything's just there. You don't have any other responsibility outside of the job that you have to do. Okay. But when you're creative, if you want to be successful at whatever it is that you do that's creative, you have to invest in yourself. You have to spend time educating yourself, always updating the information that you have, because creative fields always change. So you can't learn this and then go, that's it, I'm never going to learn anymore, because whatever you're doing, it's going to continue to advance, and you have to advance with it. And then you got to figure out taxes. You got to figure out your, LLC status, or, C Corp, or there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. And, there's people that would rather all that stuff be taken care of. But, you got
to work yourself up to that.
Yeah. There's a freedom in it. And it's funny, like the meme of, an entrepreneur will work 80 hours a week to avoid working a 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah.
And it's true, because they're in control. They're in control. I think we've even talked about this, is a lot of what I've wanted to feel as I'm living my life is to have a feeling of freedom. And I don't mean freedom like, oh, I could just jump on a plane and go to Tahiti and do whatever I want. I don't mean like that. I'm talking about a sense of freedom in that I'm in control of what I'm doing.
Right.
I don't want to feel trapped.
Yeah.
I want to feel like the thing that I'm doing is in line with my purpose. And by doing that and living that way, it engenders a feeling of freedom within me, and peace of mind in a sense, because I know I'm doing what I need to be doing as an artist. So yeah, you guys out there, again, would love to hear what you guys think about this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Feel free to, again, like social media, all that stuff down below. Hit us up, send us a DM, whatever it is. Tweet at us. We'd love to get your takes on stuff.
Also, this is a one, if anyone's out there listening, you've gotten this far. If you have any ideas for topics for us, we'd love them.
Yeah. Send us some suggestions for things to talk about, like whether it's based on something you've experienced or just maybe something you've been curious about, as far as like what getting a perspective on something that maybe you're curious about, like send that stuff our way.
Yeah, because we've sat down and thought up a lot of really good topics. What was one of them? Let me think. Impostor syndrome, staying motivated.
Oh, don't give all of them away. We got to save that for the future.
Yeah. But it's going to be some good stuff coming up, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. We've had all this equipment and bought more equipment, and more than anything, I want to, grow this channel and be successful at it. And I have a very deep motivation for this.
Me too.
To work.
Yeah, I want this to work as well. Like, anything to keep me from working in a dish pit.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
actually, before we end this podcast, there was actually a topic you put on the Trello, which it's actually something that happened. What was it? 2020, 2021?
It was
or 2020?
It was either the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. I know it snowed.
Right. Yeah.
It snowed, and I can't remember if we were into, because I know it snowed, and then it was a couple months later we moved.
Yeah. So to get into the story, so this is the hobo Christmas tree story. I call it that for a specific reason. In fact, I'm gonna make sure to get the footage off my phone, which I'm gonna be playing the audio from it, so it can go straight to the pod track. But so yeah, to give you some background, we used to live at the dollhouse in the University District.
Very
shithole.
Yes,
it was it was not great. It was a very shitty place to live.
Yeah, it was right on the Ave between 42nd and 43rd. Pink and purple building. If you're ever over there, you'll immediately see it.
Yeah, it's it's got this history as being like one of the places where Jimi Hendrix played on the roof of it or something like that, and then didn't like Kurt Cobain go there at one point?
Yeah, but probably Kurt and Lane Staley.
Yeah, something like that,
because it was a notorious heroin spot.
Yeah, yeah, and like I remember when we first. When I first moved there,
they just moved out the last heroin
dealer. Yeah, wasn't there a dude still there when we moved in? Me and my brother, where there's that one guy who apparently like raped people.
Oh, that one guy. Yeah, but he wasn't. He was just
a weird guy.
He was a weird guy. He, yeah, but no, that's like your unit, which I ended up moving into with you, Unit L. Yeah, there's actually like brackets on the door so they could put like a 2x4 so the cops couldn't kick the door in. And yeah, I mean, it gives them an extra couple seconds to flush their stuff. Yeah, but yeah,
dude, I remember when we moved there, there was still you were still like living there for free. Well, free. You were working there as like one of the maintenance guys. To earn your keep there. And like there was like one room, like one of the dudes left, and it was like this horrible fucking room. There was that big ass fucking bed thing, and then there was the toilet filled with shit.
Yeah,
it was just spit on the walls or loogies on the wall or something like that. It was
so gross. We lived there.
Yeah, we lived there. And so
here, let me set up the little scene because so first of all, it's one of those apartments where the bottom floor, there's a door in the middle, and to the right was the Subway sandwich place.
Yeah.
And to the left was what, a Thai? It was like a Thai restaurant place, okay?
Yeah.
But there's a door in the middle, purple door.
Yep.
And you'd walk through that door and you'd go upstairs to the first floor.
Yeah.
And then there was another set of stairs that took you to the next floor.
Yeah.
So, but to get out, you could either go to the back of the apartment building and go down a back set of stairs.
Yeah.
Or you go to the front door. And the door's locked, and you walk down and you open the door, and right in front of you is the sidewalk.
Yeah. And
then beyond the sidewalk is this there was like a tree and then a curb.
Yep. Yeah.
And they have the little trees go down the street. But yeah, that's
literally where I was sleeping, where I had my bed. There was the windows looking out to the street. So literally right below me was the entrance to the apartments.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just so you get a visual of what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And that place at one point, it was notorious for like having in fact there was a bar right next to us.
Yeah.
So and there was before
there'd be fights on Wednesday nights because it was ladies' night.
Before this was all before the pandemic happened. We moved there where I moved there with my brother. And yeah, it would be really hopping at night, and it would just be so annoying. But of course, you also had the hobos, the hobo situation, the heroin addicts, the crack addicts,
Guy walking by,
alcoholics,
smashing the windows out of a business.
Dude, I remember that was one of my first experiences. Like fucking, I was going to sleep, and just some random fucking crackhead with a hammer, just smashing it with a hammer.
The Indian restaurant.
Yeah, the Indian restaurant. Yeah, just smash. And I remember the cops pulled up like with laser sights and shit, like get on the ground. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, what the fuck, man?
So that's where we're living.
Yeah.
And it was right before it snowed. I remember we had a couple of days of rain, but they were telling us it's going to snow.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was around winter time. I don't know if it was December or January. I don't remember. Actually, when did I take this? I could actually look at the details of. Okay, so I started shooting this footage around February. So maybe
it was February. Yeah.
Actually, I think January is when it snowed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started taking. So to give you an idea of what's going on, eventually around, I want to say either December or January, this hobo parked his ass right outside our door. And just so you know, again, just to kind of
he wasn't blocking the sidewalk.
He wasn't blocking the sidewalk. He wasn't blocking our door. He was outside our door.
Yeah.
And he would have these freakouts.
Yeah.
And I would hear it. I would hear all of it.
Yeah, he actually sat down by the tree. Mm-hmm. Seemed like maybe a week before it snowed.
Yeah. And he
wouldn't
slept
move
in the snow.
And then it started snowing.
Yeah, and the funny part, it's not really funny. The thing about it that was crazy to me was when it started snowing, he just had a tarp, and he just slept in the snow.
Yeah, he just slept.
He slept in the snow, and in fact, he was out there for so long that I called the cops. I think you called the cops.
Yeah, we called 911.
Yeah,
a lot of people called 911.
We were telling, and this was the upsetting thing to me. Was like we were calling the authorities being like, listen, there's this dude loitering outside our place. He's like, well, not blocking the door, but he's like right outside the door. It doesn't make me feel comfortable to go out there, but also this guy seems like he needs help.
Yeah.
He's sleeping in the snow.
He definitely needed help.
Guess what fucking happened? Cops came by, asked him, hey man, you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Leaves.
Yeah.
Every time. This is the thing that pisses me off about situations like that. It's like, clearly this dude's not okay. He's sleeping in the snow, and that should be grounds enough for the police or whoever comes by to go like, no, dude, you're not okay. Let's take you somewhere else.
Yeah.
But they don't do it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was irritating. In fact, I remember there was one point where I was borderline almost screaming at the operator because I'm like, this guy is talking about how the CIA is ripping the skin off his feet.
Yeah.
And he's screaming and shouting and letting it all out.
Yeah,
and yet you guys are constantly coming by and not doing a damn thing about it.
Yeah.
And I was upset because I'm having to hear this shit and you guys aren't doing anything. Oh, sorry, sir, but there's not much we can do. And it's like, what the fuck good are you guys? Like, you can't even handle a simple situation. And I get it, freedom and, personal freedoms and,
we live in a very progressive,
quote unquote, progressive city. And I get it, but it's just there's nuances that need to be taken into account.
There's always downs. Normally with anything like that, you take a stance one way or another. There's always going to be a kind of a downside.
Yeah.
Somewhere. But yeah, you're going to play it.
So anyways, it was around this point I started getting fucking frustrated. So, and then I just decided to start recording him. And I'm actually going to be putting the footage of this overlaid onto the footage of the camera so you guys can see it. But for those who are listening to the audio, I'm just going to be playing the audio. And so this is the first recording of, and it's in chronological order. So here's the first one.
How long are these?
Not that long.
This is the shit I deal with every fucking day.
It really goddamn hurts. Somebody is stabbing me in the top of my motherfucking feet. It really goddamn hurts. As you can tell, these people, they're stabbing me with syringes on the top of my feet. you stop goddamn doing it? My foot feels like it's infected. It really
Look at
goddamn
this shit.
really goddamn bad. I even went for walks.
And this was before it snowed.
No, this was after. This was after.
Okay.
Fucking unreal.
Actually, that was when I was walking to the sports bar down later.
Drake.
Yeah, or no, not Paul's or something. I don't know what it was called. Jeff's bar or something like that. It was a sports bar.
Yeah.
It was actually near the Pink Gorilla down there.
Yeah.
So I was like literally walking down that way. I don't know if you were there, and I was just walking over to get a drink with you, or I think I was going there on my own because I was like, fuck this. I don't want to listen to this guy talking. But you heard that, right? He was talking about people stabbing syringes in his feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy going on about? But then it got crazier because he started talking about the CIA ripping the skin off his feet or something like that. So here's the second. This is 1 minute and 40 seconds. And I just tried to have a conversation with him or something like that to kind of egg him on to say some shit.
Yeah.
Because he's screaming out this weird ass shit. So let's play the next one.
You said someone's torturing you?
Yes, they are torturing me. They are hurting my feet extremely bad.
Really?
It feels like they're grabbing the skin off my feet and tearing it off my feet.
And you say you need help. Is that what you
I
said?
need to find out why they're tearing the skin off my feet and why they're torturing me, making me feel like somebody is ripping the bottoms of my feet off.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And it's not legal in this country to do this to
No,
person.
it's not. It's not
And
legal.
I know you're getting angry. I am very tired of coming all day. People have been trying to tear the bottoms of my feet off all fucking day.
Really?
And I do not know why my feet feel like people are trying to tear the bottoms of my feet off. And I'm getting very angry. It doesn't matter where I go, but this is the safest spot I can be right now. I am sorry, but my great grandmother, her grandfather, these windows were part of his ship, his captain's log ship, and he brought this ship from Australia. He was the king of Australia.
I have not seen this. I'm glad you got that because I have not seen this.
No, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that was how our 2021 began.
started. Yeah, that's how it started. We were dealing with this shit, and you could see in the footage on the YouTube video that he's wrapped up in this tarp. It like wrapped around this tree. That's why I call him the hobo Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Because it looks, it's so sad.
And he went through varying stages of what I call the human explosion.
Yeah.
Where they have things or they get food or people help them, and it just kind of starts spreading out around them.
Yeah.
And just this mess.
It was disgusting.
Oh, yeah, it was really bad.
So disgusting. Should I play the rest of it?
No, that's that. But let's do the car crash sound again for 2021. 2021 was a fucking car crash.
Yeah.
But it's over.
Yeah.
And even if it was a hard year or 2 years, as it is, we're looking up, we're looking forward, we're making changes, and we're leveling up. So
Yeah.
join us on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a lot more cool content for you guys. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm pumped.
Me too. I'm pumped to see how 2022 goes. I want it to be a better year.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, we're going to take it into our hands.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to make it a better year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Period.
Well, that's it for Crooke Candle episode 9. I hope you had a good time. And yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, suggestions for topics, anything like that, DM us on our social medias. All that stuff will be down below. You can find our podcast on any distribution that we basically have it on, and all the links to all that stuff will be in the description of every podcast down below. It's the bio.link/Crooke Candle Podcast.
Yeah. Oh, there's one last thing. We're probably going to start dropping. This is actually dropping Monday, but we're going to probably start dropping our podcast on Tuesdays, because since we're going to be shooting with more cameras and doing a video podcast,
it's gonna
take a little bit of extra time.
It's gonna make the production take a little bit longer. So yeah, we're gonna move it forward to Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But this podcast will be coming out on Monday.
And with that, we are out of here. You guys have a great day or night, whatever. Love you.
Yeah, take it easy.
See you guys. Peace.